Hi, welcome to the Vedic Astrology full moon forecast, a lunar eclipse. The moon is waxing, getting brighter and more intense. How are you feeling? The moon is waxing, and on October 28th, between 12:35 p.m. and 1:52 p.m. Pacific time, the moon will graze the shadow of the earth, be partially eclipsed, and then begin to wane again. Feeling sensitive, maybe a bit rushed, or perhaps exhilarated. This full moon is not a normal full moon. It is partially eclipsed. It's part of a pair of eclipses coming after this deep and transformational solar eclipse we had 2 weeks ago. I'm still here in Kerala, in India, in the beautiful backwaters, and the ocean in the distance. So lunar eclipses are a time of heightened emotion often. They are affecting the mind a lot because the moon is the emotional point in a horoscope. It is what our experience of our emotional body is, our minds basically. So lunar eclipses are known to create powerful awakenings on a personal level especially, and they can feel ungrounded or a little bit like a roller coaster. This full moon lunar eclipse is in an aspect from Mars, and it is in Mars's sign in Vedic astrology, sidereal Aries, a combative and energetic kind of fire in this lunar eclipse. A kind of like a dam being broken or something rushing forward in this lunar eclipse. It's in the star, the nakshatra, called Ashwini nakshatra. Ashwini has the energy of a horse. It's connected with speed and velocity. And it is also connected with how energy flows through pranic channels. It's a star of healing, actually. It's connected to the Ashwini Kumar, the horse-headed twins who were known for their miraculous healing abilities. So this is a lunar eclipse that could actually open new channels of healing, new channels of opportunity as well. Because this full moon is a lunar eclipse, but it is also a full moon that is revered to bring auspicious opportunities. It's the Sharad Purnima. It happens once a year, and it's a kind of harvest moon. It's the moon that comes right at the end of the monsoons in India, and it's said to open the channels of grace from the goddess Lakshmi. Lakshmi, the goddess of prosperity and abundance. So this is a full moon that has a lot of promise and opportunity within it. However, the lunar eclipse, especially during the hours of the lunar eclipse, if it's visible in your area, it's best not to be looking at the moon or exposing yourself to the rays of the moon at that time. This is traditional beliefs in Vedic astrology. It's because the shadow energy of the eclipse isn't the same as normal full moon light. It has the bite of Rahu. Rahu is the mouth or the jaws of the karmic snake, the shadow dragon, who gobbles up the light of the sun and the moon in eclipses. And in this case, his mouth, his teeth, are just grazing this moon, but it is touching the moon, and even a slight touch can create radical transformation within this light. This lunar eclipse can bring breakthroughs, though, opportunities, positive breakthroughs in your life, depending on how it's transiting your chart. Do check out my horoscope class for this upcoming Rahu and Ketu transit in Pisces and Virgo if you'd like to know more about how the eclipses are going to be affecting you in the future. Ever since the eclipse season window opened in the beginning of the month, we've seen an accelerated kind of karma, especially happening in the Middle East, and also the recent shocking massacre that just happened last night in Maine, I feel are sort of awful reminders of how eclipses can be tipping points. They can bring violence, and it can be deadly and very devastating as well. So this is a time we need to pray for peace in the world, and also to try to slow down. I think that there's something about the velocity and intensity of this full moon that can increase speed maybe too much. So slowing down, taking your time to make decisions, maybe even delaying decisions until after this eclipse, and taking time to breathe. Ashwini has a lot to do about breathing and moving the energy through the body. So during the time of this eclipse, maybe to sit down and use this energy to move the prana, to move, to breathe deeply and move the energy through your body in a healthy way. Rahu, the head of the snake that causes eclipses, the one that is biting the moon in this lunar eclipse, is in an unusual and dangerous place right now. He's right at the edge of Aries, in between Pisces and Aries. He's about to cross backwards over what they call the Gandanta. The Gandanta is an extremely dangerous zone where collective karma is magnifying, and there is an element of volatility that is much more extreme than normal. And besides this difficult transit of Rahu, and besides all of these magnifying and kind of intensifying eclipses, is that Saturn, the Lord of Karma, who is in his Mula Trikona, very powerful in Aquarius right now, has nearly stopped. He is completely stationary, and he is about to make a very crucial turning point where he will begin his direct motion on November 5th. Saturn's influence should improve situations as far as especially improving order and balance, and also creating the possibility of peace in the months to come. So let's just take a look, though, at what the tarot cards have to say about this upcoming lunar eclipse in Ashwini Nakshatra. Okay, so the first card that came through is the Seven of Wands. This is a fire card. Burning pretty hot here. You see the glyph of Mars. This is the last lunar eclipse we're having in Aries for a very long time. This is ending a whole cycle of Rahu and Ketu in Aries and Libra. So this lunar eclipse really is burning off the last of that karma. Yeah, it's important to stay cool. And then the Six of Swords. Mercury's energy is coming through here. And one thing I forgot to mention is Mars is looking right at this lunar eclipse, but also Mars and Mercury are very closely conjoined in what we call Graha Yuddha, planetary war. And so there is something around, maybe it's communication or travel, that we have to be a little more wary of. And Ashwini also, of course, has to do with movement and velocity as well. So having a careful plan, taking your time to take everything step by step is important around this time, especially the days surrounding this lunar eclipse. There's no rush, even though the Knight of Swords also comes up here rushing forward. Maybe if there is something that you really are going for and a breakthrough is happening right now, it's okay to go with it. Lunar eclipses like this can open up channels of possibility as well. And it is the auspicious Sharad Purnima, where there is this overall blessing within it. If you're feeling overheated or overwhelmed, step back and take a moment to breathe. Look at the plan, where you've been and where you're going. And take your time before you jump. A new opportunity is suddenly opening. Whether you travel outward or inward, a new dimension can be opening now. Tend the fire within with careful attention and focus. Thanks for watching the Industry Astrology Full Moon Forecast. I do offer one-on-one Zoom readings, Vedic Astrology readings, and Tarot readings. Also, be sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel and get on my newsletter. It's free. I'll see you soon.